The 1% trader mindset. What does that even mean? What really separates the top traders from literally everyone else? Well, today we're going to break that down. And more importantly, we're going to tackle that one frustrating question that I know is on your mind. Why aren't you profitable yet?
I love this quote because it just hits so hard, doesn't it? You've learned enough. You've studied enough. You've tried enough. You have put in the work, the hours, the mental energy, all of it. The problem isn't that you need to learn more. It's that you have to go back and fix the broken foundations you've been trying to build on.
I mean, that's the real question, isn't it? The one that just eats away at you. You feel like you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, checking all the boxes, but the results, they just aren't there. You're either stuck spinning your wheels at break even, or worse, you're just slowly bleeding your account. So what is going on?
And I bet this all sounds a little too familiar. You've watched hundreds of hours of videos, you've backtested until your eyes hurt, you've got a trading journal full of charts and notes, and yet you're still stuck in that same frustrating loop. A couple of small wins, followed by that one big loss that wipes it all out. It feels like you're on a hamster wheel going nowhere. Well, here's a truth that might be a little hard to swallow. The reason you're failing has nothing to do with some secret indicator you haven't found yet. It's not about a magical hidden strategy. The real reasons are so much more fundamental, and once you see them, you are never going to be able to unsee them.
So let's get right into it. The first foundational flaw, pillar number 1, is this constant draining battle between hope and math.
Okay, so just look at this contrast. On the left side, this is where most struggling traders live. They trade based on feelings, on how good a chart looks, on what they hope will happen. It's a pure dopamine chase. Dopamine over discipline. Now look at the right side. This is where the pros live. They operate on back-tested data, cold, hard statistics, and a proven plan with what's called a positive expectancy. All that means is that it's mathematically shown to make money over time. And that's the absolute key here. A real edge is not a gut feeling. It's not intuition. It's math. It's a provable statistical advantage that you've calculated by grinding through historical data. It means you know, you don't guess, that over a huge sample size of trades, your strategy makes money. And I'm going to be blunt, if you haven't done that work, you don't have an edge. You have a wish. All right, so let's move on to the second pillar. And this one is so insidious because it's something almost everyone thinks they have under control. I call it the risk illusion. 1%. You hear it everywhere, right? It's the golden rule of trading. It's the first thing they teach you. I risk 1% per trade. That's the plan. That's what we all claim to follow. But is that the reality? Be totally honest with yourself for a second. Is that what's really happening on every single trade? Because for most people, the reality looks a lot more like this. After a few wins, you see a setup that just looks like a sure thing, so you bump up the risk just a little bit. Then you take a big loss, you get scared, and on the next trade you cut your risk way down. Or you adjust your size based on how high quality a setup feels. Do you see the problem? Every single one of those little emotional adjustments completely destroys the mathematical edge you worked so hard to find. It makes all that backtesting totally worthless. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Your edge was tested with a fixed variable, 1% risk. So the only way it can possibly work in the real world is if you execute it with that same fixed variable. Every single time. No exceptions, no feelings, period.
And that brings us to our third and final pillar. And you know what? This might just be the biggest aha moment of them all. This is where the battle stops being about the market and turns inward. It's the conflict between your strategy and yourself.
This right here is a massive realization for so many traders. You could have a genuinely profitable strategy, one with a real, proven statistical edge, but if it requires a personality type that you simply do not have, you are guaranteed to fail with it. Just think about it for a second. Breakout trading requires you to be comfortable making split-second decisions when things are moving fast. Mean reversion? That requires the patience of a saint to just sit on your hands and wait for the perfect moment. And swing trading, you have to be totally okay with uncertainty, holding trades for days at a time. Your personality either fits one of these or it doesn't.
Let's make this real. Meet Alex. Alex is an impulsive guy. He loves action. He wants to be in the game. But he found a slow, patient, mean reversion strategy, and the backtest numbers looked incredible. So what happens? Now, every single trade is a battle against his own nature. He's not fighting the market. He's fighting himself.
Or let's take Sarah. Sarah is a naturally anxious person. She hates uncertainty, and she's trying to be a breakout trader. So the moment a winning trade has a completely normal pullback, her anxiety spikes, and she closes the trade for a tiny profit just to make the bad feeling go away, only to watch it run for another 100 pips without her. The strategy worked. Her temperament just couldn't execute it.
So you have to stop trying to force your brain to fit a strategy. You have to flip it. You match the strategy to your brain, your temperament, your personality. It isn't a weakness you need to fix. It's a filter. It's your guide for finding what will actually work for you.
Okay, so we've diagnosed the three core problems: hope versus math, the risk illusion, and strategy versus self. So how do we actually fix this stuff? Well, it's all about going back and fixing that foundation.
And the very first step is just to accept that these are not small tweaks. You can't just find another indicator and hope it solves these problems. These are deep, fundamental cracks in your entire approach, and they have to be fixed before anything else will work.
The solution is actually pretty simple, but that doesn't make it easy. Number one, get real data. Stop trading on hope. Do the work to find a strategy with a proven mathematical edge. Number two, lock your position size. Set your risk, and then never, ever adjust it based on your feelings. Become a robot. And number three, match your strategy to your temperament. Be brutally honest with yourself, and find a style of trading that works with your personality, not against it.
And listen, let's be totally clear. These fixes are not sexy. They are not exciting. They're about discipline and process. But this is the work. This is what separates a real trader from a permanent student of the markets. This is the difference. So I'm going to leave you with one final question to really think about. After everything we've talked about today, ask yourself, is your real struggle against the market? Or have you just been fighting yourself this whole time?